Hello, team owners of the USFL 16-team league. A few announcements before I get into highlights and previews. First off, it is already week 7. Time flies, I guess, when you're having fun. We're in the second half now of season 1. This is a year-round league, guys. I need some communication and feedback. This is a no-dues practice league of sorts to possibly move into the 20-team league. I'd like to think as your commissioner that I'm providing a fair place for you to play in a deep league that's well controlled and fair for everyone. And I'm attentive and on top of things. Try to make it interesting with our videos, other people pitching in. I will be looking for a couple of you guys to maybe do highlights because you get tired of me or Kyle doing them. If anyone wants to be aware and in tune of the league a little bit more and do a couple videos, that would be great. I need communication, though, that you're going to be back next year. I do not need it tomorrow, but please PM me. Let's get to know each other a little better. Send me something. Tell me where your passion of the USFL lies specifically. Your dad took you to a game or whatever. We want to know that. Everyone in the league wants to know that. Everyone on the fan page likes to know that type of stuff. We want to drum up excitement through our play in fantasy football. As the USFL, quite honestly, guys, you know it's never going to come back. I wish it would, but we can play it right here and have fun with it. So I need you to communicate and give me feedback as to where you stand and what your plans are going into season 2. Again, a year-round league, so I need to know these things so I can feel if I need to. But I would love every single one of you to be back. So here we go. Tampa Bay Bandits 0-6. Brian Tracy's having a tough time. William Brackeen's Memphis Showboats are 5-1 and on top in the South. Birmingham Stallions, Chris Flame is right behind William there in Memphis as he takes down the Jacksonville Bulls. So that South Division now is 5-1 for the Showboats, 4-2 for Chris Flame's Birmingham Stallions. Michael Rodriguez Jacksonville Bulls are 3-3. Tampa Bay tails that up in last at 0-6. As I discussed before, keep on playing, Brian. You never know. You might make the top 8 before it's all over. The Boston Breakers win this week over the Chicago Blitz. Larry Hansen goes down, but he is 3-3, and he's got an important central battle coming up this week. The New Jersey Generals, Jose Plaza, had a tough loss last week by 0.1 points. He loses this week pretty solidly to Michael Summers' team, the Stars, who are in first place at 4-2. Boston Breakers, Joy Maynard right behind Michael at the Stars at 3-3. Arizona Wranglers started out 4-0. Kevin Perilou was hot and heavy. He always wins in the 20-team league, guys. He always wins that division out there in the Pacific. He is an Arizona Wrangler. But Stephen Miller beat him by 1 point this week, 21-20. And Steve is now, with the Oakland Invaders, is now tied for first place. Having beaten him, officially, he is ahead. We do look at divisional records here as a commissioner, and I balance those things out. Points usually win out. Points are the setting here in the tiebreaker. But I like to look at the divisional battles. I like you to know who your divisional foes are and who those people are in your division. Denver Gold and LA Express both are 2-4 out in the Pacific. You're only 2 games back of Kevin and Steven there with 7 to go, so it's anybody's game. El Briscoe is the new owner of the LA Express last 2 games. He's won the last 2 games. He came in there with them being 0-4, decimated pretty good, and he's brought them back. Welcome, El Briscoe. He is a sports announcer, sports writer, as we have many in our 20-team league, guys like that. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but we do have some ex-USFL professional players, honorary members, sitting as co-owners on our 20-team league. So if that's your aspiration, I surely need to know that too. Kenneth Beatty with the Michigan Panthers takes down Kyle's undefeated Oklahoma Outlaws, undefeated no more. Kenneth Beatty with Michigan Panthers is now 1 game back of Kyle, is right behind him with another game. I think they got to play each other a little later in the season. So moving on to this coming week, every game matters. There are no divisional. There's one divisional matchup, I think, this coming week. The rest of the games are kind of out of the division, even out of conference, so to speak, if you look at it from an Eastern and Western Conference. Joey Maynard with the Boston Breakers plays William Brackeen with the Memphis Showboats. Memphis is solidly in first in the South, but in the Atlantic right now, Boston and Joey is one game back of the Stars, Michael Summers, so he needs to win that game. Of course, Memphis Showboats need to win to stay atop in the South. The Oakland Invaders are going to Tampa this week. Brian Tracy's looking for his first win with the Bandits. He's 0-6. Stephen Miller, that would be an upset if that happens, just by record. But right now, Brian's favored in that game, but there are some adjustments to be made. The Bandits are favored in that game, but Stephen Miller, he's got divisional titles on the line here as he's 4-2 along with the Arizona Wranglers. He hopes to win that game this coming week. Philadelphia Stars, as I mentioned, are playing the Pittsburgh Maulers. Michael Summers is sitting on top in that division, but Pittsburgh, man, he lost by 1 point this last week. Darren Spencer, and I was really pulling for Pittsburgh Maulers to get their first win, but he can take down the divisional leader right now in Michael Summers and take down the Stars. The New Jersey Generals' Jose Plaza plays Birmingham Stallions' Chris Flame this coming week. Chris is trying to hang on there with Memphis. Jose's trying to not get any further behind in the Atlantic Division. He's really only 2 games back right now in the Atlantic Division at 2-4. The Houston Gamblers' Bill Kellick and Larry Hansen's Chicago Blitz is the only divisional game of the week. They're both 3-3. Winner is going to come out looking pretty good there in the Central. The Oklahoma Outlaws play the hot LA Express. LA Express, El Briscoe, as I mentioned before, has won 2 in a row. Kyle lost this last week. Craig Christian has joined us as a co-owner with Kyle, and we'll probably be running the Outlaws later this year, if not next year for sure. Jacksonville Bulls' Michael Rodriguez plays Kevin Perillou's Arizona Wranglers. Michael needs to win to stay close to Memphis. Arizona needs to win to stay atop in the Pacific Division. And then Kenneth Beatty, I think, is one of our hottest teams right now. Michigan Panthers are 4-2, 1 game back of Oklahoma Outlaws, plays Ricky Carver's Denver Gold. Guys, communicate with me this week. Good luck. Have a great week.